Hello, it is the 12th of May 2025 and I am reading The Invisible Way, A Time to Love, A Time to Die. It's Reshad Feild's story. He is now in Wales with Noor, his love, visiting Elizabeth and visiting John, who was very, very ill, and he's just fetched Elizabeth from London to see John. They go back a long way. Chapter 17, there's no title to the chapters. Noor came down the path to meet us. She must have seen the car arrive through the upstairs window. The three of us held each other very close. Well, Elizabeth said finally, we had better go in. It's strange to be here after so long. Everything was quiet inside the house. Jim was in the hall. He had a stethoscope around his neck and was just packing his bag. You must be Elizabeth, he said, holding out his hand. John has been talking about you all morning. He's not very well, I'm afraid, but that is to be expected. I have given him some medication to ease the pain and I changed the dressing. He's in the upstairs room. I can't do any more for the time being, but I'm sure he will be better when he sees you. Call me whenever you want. If you don't mind, Elizabeth said to us, I would like to be alone with John for a while. I'll find my room later. She left her overnight bag by the door and went slowly upstairs. I heard John's door open and close. Noor was radiant. I shall never forget that moment. It was as though we were meeting for the first time all over again. We held hands. There were no words to speak. We kissed and I knew without any doubt that I would ask her to marry me. This was the reality I sought. The pain, the confusion, the splitting of time, the pressure of those 2 short weeks vanished for a brief moment in the love that we had both for each other and the love that permeated us both. We held hands. I sensed that Noor understood. Please come and help me get the tea, she said. We have work to do. There will be time to talk later. I helped and soon the tray was ready. Shall I come up with you? I asked. You'd better wait, she said. I feel he will want to be alone with Elizabeth, so I shall just knock on the door and leave the tray outside. The house felt strangely quiet and empty. I walked about from room to room looking at the hooks and the objects on the table in the hall. Each one of them represented a section of John's life. Time stood still. It seemed an age until I heard her footsteps coming downstairs again. I was right, she said. They want to be alone together, but John has asked us all to come up to be with him at supper time. Come on, let's take our favourite walk by the river. He will be all right with Elizabeth there. She took my hand and we followed the path that led down to the pool by the bend of the river. When do you think it will be? I asked finally. We had been sitting for a long time on the riverbank in silence. Do you think tonight? Elizabeth said that people like John can choose the time of their own death. I feel incredibly nervous. So much is hanging in the balance. There are many things I want to say to you, but I just can't seem to. Shh, she said. Just be quiet. She leant over, put her hand over my mouth and kissed my forehead. How do we know? There is something that knows, though. And our job is just to be here for John, not to worry or to get agitated or sad. None of these things. He's not worried. Ever since you left, he has been telling me that we must not fret. He told me last night how this was to be a joyous occasion. All he asked was that we be as awake and conscious as we could. Anyway, he said, he wanted to talk to us about something more. So there may be time. Most important of all, though, he reminded us not to be sentimental, for sentimentality, he said, is the greatest enemy of love. He actually told me that you were far too sentimental, and that it was my job to help you. Come now, she said at the expression on my face. We don't have much time together. She lay down and closed her eyes. Her long hair flowed out across the grass. I lay beside her, sensing the beauty that expresses itself in the completion lying in women. She was herself the womb of the moment. John had said that when something dies, something is conceived, ready to be born. The future unfolded itself in all its infinite possibilities. In that moment, for the first time in my life, the matrix was complete. Back in the house after our walk, we busied ourselves with tidying up and getting the supper ready. Elizabeth's bag was still by the door, so I took it to her room. There were fresh flowers on the dressing table and a book of Mevlana's poetry by her bed. It was getting dark, so I drew the curtains and turned on the light by the side of her bed. The muffled sound of voices came from John's room, but otherwise everything was still. I went to our own room and looked out of the window. Darest thou now, O soul, walk out with me towards the unknown region? The words echoed round my head as I watched daylight fade from the hillside. Noor and I sat downstairs quietly. She had finished in the kitchen and we had time to speak while we waited for Elizabeth. Noor, what really happened when I was away? I expected you looked so tired and worried under all this strain. Instead, you look completely at ease. She smiled. Nothing much happened. John has been very weak and hasn't talked much. He has been busy with papers and notes and seemed to have wanted to be left alone most of the time. Margaret came round once and called during the day, and that was about it, really. But there's something else. Something has changed in you. You seem gentler. Well, perhaps it is because I have completely accepted John's death, she answered. It's all very well knowing that someone is being taken out of your life, but it is another thing to go with it. When we are alone together, it was not so much what he said that helped me, but what he did not say. Sometimes after meals he asked me to sit with him. Sometimes he talked and sometimes he said nothing. When he did, he often spoke about you and me, and in a short time some inner confidence grew inside that I had lost a long time ago. Many things have happened since my illness, and there was a lot of mending to do. I suppose that when we are really confident in a moment, there's no need to be agitated and nervous. That's about it, really, she said. What did John say about us? I asked her. Oh, not too much. It was just a lot of personal things about men and women and relationships. He extended what he had talked about before. You know, he said so much during those times. If you think about it, all those ideas about birth, sex, death, and conception being in the same moment. But is there anything more specific that you could say about what he said? It does concern both of us. Well, to be quite honest, she said after a long while, John implied that we should look at getting married. He can't understand why you haven't asked me. She got up and put another log on the fire. She had her back to me, so I could not see her face. There was still no sign of Elizabeth, and it was nearly supper time. Noor, I said, did John really mean that? She nodded silently. Do you wish to get married? I asked her. Yes, she said quietly, but only if you can accept this thing about destiny. That if there is total commitment, We have to accept whatever life may bring. For me, marriage has to be a real commitment. She looked up at me, and then tears welled up in her eyes and fell down her face and ran over her lips. I had never seen the expression in her eyes in any woman before. This was the call for recognition, the longing to be accepted right down into the earth, into the flesh itself. I knew that she was not begging me to marry her, but that the longing in her eyes came from a deep part of woman herself, crying out to man to see and understand who she is, and thus commit himself to the completion that is in women. For a moment we were caught in a bubble outside time, a split second lying between cycles. Then it was over. We held each other, and I asked her to marry me, in the knowledge that we were committing ourselves not only to each other, but to life itself. A few minutes later we heard Elizabeth coming down the stairs. We must have looked very different, for she stopped for a moment and looked at us through her monocle. "Ah," she said warmly, "so there you are. John has asked that we all come up to his room now. I heard you moving about in the kitchen earlier on, so I guess there's some food ready for us all. He doesn't want much, he says, perhaps a little soup if you have some. By the way," she said to me, "you haven't seen him for a couple of days. He's getting weaker all the time, so don't be surprised." He perked up a little bit when I came, and we were able to talk about the old days, but he has been in and out of sleep most of the day, and I have just been sitting with him. There was a marked change in John. He seemed thinner, as if a part of him were already gone. He was sitting in his chair. Noor brought him his soup and then sat down on a cushion by his feet. He smiled at us both, holding out his hand to me. "It's already been a long time," he said. He drank the soup silently. Eventually he turned to Noor. "Well," he asked, "have you spoken with him?" "Yes, John, we are going to get married. I haven't even told Elizabeth yet." "Thank God," he said. "Did you hear that, Elizabeth? Now all those things I saw so long ago are coming true at last. Ah, that's wonderful. Both of you. Come, look at me. Let us see if there is any change." "It is good," he said finally. "I think both Elizabeth and I saw that this might happen. It is a tremendous and wonderful decision. If I was only a little stronger, we would go out and celebrate. As it is, I can at least act as a sort of godfather for you both. I'm very tired tonight, but perhaps tomorrow we can talk." He leaned back in his chair. After a while he opened his eyes. "Don't speak now," Elizabeth said. "There is time enough tomorrow." "You're right," he said, "but tonight you can meditate on one theme, one idea, and then tomorrow we will see what can be said. Just remember that you are not your bodies, you are not your senses or your emotions. You are not even the mind that you call yours. You are none of these things, and yet the body is the vehicle through which everything comes into being here in this world. Thus, as marriage is sacred, so are your bodies. In love there is nothing that is not sacred. Every one of the manifestations of God is sacred, and they are all contained within you. Marriage is a wonderful gift, for through it you can free God. Think of it. God is love, and love is pure energy from which everything becomes. All this is locked inside the prison of the body, of the mind, and of the senses. Marriage is for the freeing of love into the world. Whether it is the marriage within, or the outward expression of this when two people agree to be united, We are united in love, but God is still imprisoned with the illusion we have created for ourselves. Free God, both of you. Free the love that is within you. Each of you is a mirror for the other. Each of you can be a help to the other towards the only true freedom that there is. For me, at last, there is nothing left but God. That night we did not sleep. Something irreversible had been put in motion in the decision we had made and in what John had said to us afterwards. So this is the end of chapter 17, and there is one more chapter